Change takes an entire lifetime. You can't just wake up one day and then decide that you want to change your life instantaneously. You can't have one bad day, wake up, and then realize that you want to change the person you are overnight. It's just not possible. So all of those videos that are telling you how to change your life in 24 hours or in 1 week, I would watch all of those with a grain of salt. You have to consistently apply yourself beyond that 24-hour motivation. Once that motivation runs out, you need to consistently force yourself to change over time. It may be completely unrealistic to change your life overnight, but that's not to say that it's completely impossible to change your life. The only person able to change your life is yourself. You don't get there overnight, you don't get there in a week or even a month. There is no time limit on change. I feel like the constant pressure from television or just the media in general gives us a specific character that we want to base our lives on. We may want to copy their charisma, their intelligence, their confidence, whatever the case may be. Or it could be somebody in your life who has all the qualities that you want in a person without really having to try. Deep down, we all want to be that character. We want to apply the changes to our lives to become that character. I think it's safe to say that we all want to change our lives without giving ourselves the benefit of time. Every single time we have a goal or something that we want to accomplish, we put a time limit on it. And a lot of times that time limit is completely unrealistic. We aren't properly allowing ourselves to grow as people. When you set a goal and then don't accomplish it by when you thought you would, what do you think that does to a person's mentality? When you expect yourself to change in one day or one night and then you don't, what do you think that does to a person's mentality? Nothing good if you haven't guessed that already. This is part of the reason why we feel so demotivated all the time, because we're not giving ourselves time. You may not think it's true, but subconsciously, every single time you don't exceed your own expectations, it just diminishes your confidence in yourself to accomplish the next goal that you set for yourself. I'm gonna be completely vulnerable here, and I promise you by the end of this story, it will make sense. I don't think there was ever a point of time in my life where I didn't want to change myself. Ever since I became a conscious person, I guess, there was never a point in time where I didn't want to change something about myself. In a sense, the biggest thing that I wanted to change back then was my personality. Looking back at it, I always viewed myself as the annoying friend. And one of my biggest insecurities even today is still just being that person. But growing up, I was always that person that would talk too much, that would seek attention too much or just say the wrong things. And every single time that somebody was just a little rude because of that, I would always tell myself, this is the day that I change for good. And yeah, I would change for about 2 to 3 hours, using all of my energy to be cool. But that's the thing, I used all of my energy to become something that I wasn't, to change it to something that I wasn't. When in reality, that annoying kid was just who I was. That was just me. I was a goofy kid, and I have no regrets about that to this day. But I can admit that I was very annoying in certain aspects, and that pretty much came from a need for attention. So the root of me trying to change, it wasn't me trying to change my personality. It was more of me trying to change my need for attention. But I never did, because I completely thought that I could change overnight. That was what I was expecting. That was my shadow. That was the thing that followed me around. What made me possibly think that I could kill my shadow overnight? For context, that is something that takes around a year to completely heal from. And I don't even think it completely heals after that first year. But I wanted to change for the wrong reasons. I wanted to change to impress people, to get validation from other people. And due to that ingenuine desire to change, I never changed. I didn't change for me, I changed for everybody else. And that's the reason I gave myself one day to do it. Because I wanted people to see that new person that I wanted to become as soon as possible. If I genuinely wanted to change who I was as a person by myself, then I wouldn't have given myself that time limit of 1 day to do it. I would have given myself the benefit of time, the grace of taking time, making mistakes, having bad days, having great days, to actually change the way that I wanted to. But I didn't. I can say this with full confidence, genuine change cannot happen overnight. And if you're expecting something to completely change overnight, then you need to reconsider why you're trying to change the thing. Is it for yourself or to be validated by everybody else? And like I always say, this is just my perspective. You guys can have a completely different perspective, and if you do, please enlighten me on what you think in the comments. For example, I think if you want to financially change your life overnight, I don't think you're doing it right. And of course, it's easy for me to say that in a privileged house, never having a genuine struggle for money. But I think if you want to genuinely change your entire life overnight, I don't think you'd be sticking to one thing that can actually change your life financially. You'll bounce around from one scheme to the next, a get rich quick scheme just to make something happen overnight. And honestly, with that type of method, you'll never get anywhere. Yes, that example was more about money, but really it applies to every single aspect of change. Holding yourself to that expectation and that time limit prevents you from actually finding the one thing and sticking with the one thing that could change your life over time. And besides that, you shouldn't really want to change overnight. You're the same person today that you would be if you got lucky and won the lottery tomorrow for $1 million. That same person would still potentially be financially illiterate, would not know how to maintain or make that same amount of money ever again. You would be the same person versus if you spent 3 years actually applying yourself to one specific thing to actually make yourself $1 million and then learning the skills to consistently make that over time. Over time, you've built the skills to actually make that change permanent, maintain that change, and then exceed from that change. I've done exactly what I wanted to do when I was that annoying kid. I have the personality that I wanted. I have everything that I wanted pretty much. The only difference is that instead of that one night that I expected it to take, it actually took me 4 years. But now it's natural. I'm not forcing myself to dishonestly change who I am to get validation from other people like I was 4 years ago. I'm just that person that I wanted to be. So to wrap it all up, it takes a lifetime. We're never gonna stop changing, and you can't expect yourself to change as quickly as you want to. It takes conscious thoughts day in and day out, and without all of that, then you won't change. If you're obsessing over how slow that changes, you're only going to be taking 2 steps backwards as you try to move forward. Thank you guys for watching this video. I appreciate all the support. If you want to connect with me, I have an Instagram in the description below. Thank you, and I'll see you guys next time. Peace out.